TechTimeRadio.com.
We're excited to have this episode brought to us by Riverside.fm. And quite literally, I was using Riverside before they became a sponsor, as that is what I use to record both my podcasts. Everything is marketing and default alive. I used to use Zoom until someone interviewed me using Riverside, and I knew I had to switch. I love it because they take local recordings on each side, which gives you a reliable connection and the highest quality audio and video, which is very important for a podcast and live stream. Separate tracks, iOS app, and automatic transcriptions. It's made specifically for podcasters. Folks like Guy Raza from How I Built This, Cortland Allen from Indie Hackers, and even Hillary Clinton uses it, if you can believe that. Check them out and all the other features they have at Riverside.fm. That's Riverside.fm. They are the true podcasting software to get the high-quality interviews sounding like they're live. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Guess what? Our favorite sponsor's back.
Oh, it's the puzzle dude from Unidragon.
That's right, Unidragon. Yep, Unidragon.com. They have a brand new item. It's called the Playful Parrot. It's a 5-in-1 puzzle that comes on out that actually comes all the way up to the brand new size, which is the royal size. Now they're small, medium, king size, and royal size. So you can get 7 times bigger than the standard puzzle. What do you think about the Playful Parrots? Being a pirate adventurer that you are, Mike, what say you?
Oh, the owl's jealous.
The owl's jealous? Uh-oh. What's the owl saying about the parrots?
Oh, there's 5 of them and 1 of him.
That's right. That's what happens. You know what? When you're the original, sometimes you get replaced and upgraded. So if you want to get upgraded in your puzzles, now's the time to go to Unidragon.com. Again, that's Unidragon.com. Don't be fooled by other imitation puzzle makers. Only get your true puzzle from Unidragon.com. They're the best, and they're the world's leader in wooden puzzles. Tech Time listeners, use promo code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's DRAGONTECH for a 10% discount code. They're no longer 3 sizes, Mike. Guess how many they are now?
They're 4 sizes.
That's right. They're 4 sizes. Make sure to visit techtimeradio.com/sponsors and click on the Order Now button to go directly to Unidragon. Our #1 sponsor says thank you, and the owl is jealous. Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you ever heard of the company Deep Sentinel?
No, what's that?
The future of home security is here. Imagine walking in front of a security camera and suddenly it comes to life, asking you what you're doing on the property.
That'd be like Jabba the Hutt's palace.
Well, the future of home security is here with Deep Sentinel, the only home security system that delivers an experience of a personal guard on every customer's home. No false alarms, and the fastest police response times, period. Deep Sentinel sees and engages with any suspicious person on your property 24/7 and in real time. Not only is Deep Sentinel preventing break-ins, but with the holidays around the corner, Deep Sentinel prevents package theft, car break-ins, and getting shady people off your property.
Don't get stuck with a traditional home alarm system. They are outdated and riddled with false alarms, causing massive issues for police departments.
Now it's the time for the holidays and the time for you to check out Deep Sentinel. Go and visit them at deepsentinel.com. Again, that's Deep Sentinel, SENTINEL.com, and use the code VIRTUALGUARDS for 10% off. Again, the code is VIRTUALGUARDS for 10% off.
Check out deepsentinel.com and refer the code VIRTUALGUARDS for 10% off.
I'm going to do that right now.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week. The show for the everyday common person with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan, and welcome to our show. We are live streaming in studio Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and our home radio station, KKNW 1150 AM. If you're not listening or watching our show on Saturday afternoons, then you're listening to a rebroadcast. So make sure to visit www.techtimeradio.com to keep up with all the latest information. Tech Time is a weekly 2-hour technology show about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Now, where do you go for all your Tech Time information? always visit techtimeradio.com, and you can watch our live streams. Of course, we're on Twitch TV right now. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. Or you can go to techtimeradio.com and watch our live stream. We got all of the greatest information. We have archives from episodes, and of course, you can even look at an NFT to purchase from Mr. Gourdet that was available out there. So
that's right.
That's right. Now, let's engage us on Twitch, and if you would like to call us live in the studio, you can call us at 425-373-5527 or 188-298-KKNW. Again, that's 188-298-5569 to be a part of the show. David will put you on and patch you, and you can ask us a question, and we'll answer it live on the air. All right, let's start our show.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now on today's show.
That's right. On today's show, Russia is again shooting missiles into space. We got crypto fans losing out on the Constitution. And did Zuckerberg steal technology from a small company while trying to push Instagram to kids?
Yeah, that guy can't get a break.
That's right. How about preserving older games with legal emulation that is being driven from one of the most unlikely companies? Plus, renaming the Staples Center to a web company name that sells crypto. And then, of course, finally, we have our pick of the day, whiskey tastings, and Mike's mesmerizing moment, brought to us by StoriCoffee. All of this in hour one of our show. And on the second hour, we've got Nick Espinoza talking about security breaches. We're going to talk about some hospital hacks, and we're going to talk about what you can do to protect yourself over this holiday weekend. It's a big weekend for spammers and people sending ill-advised emails to people asking them to send money in different stuff. So we're going to love our letters segment because we got some of them already.
That's today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We got some already prepping into that.
Awesome.
All right, well, welcome to the show that makes you go, technology news of the week for November 20th through the 26th. Now it's time for Mr. Gourdet to start our show with what we always consider the best part. This is brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Make sure you get all of your elderberry items at elderberry-boost.com, and it's our loaded question of the week. All right, Mr. Gourdet, are you ready for this? What would... Oh, no, we won't do that one. We're going to do that next hour. What do you think is the president's email password?
Remember, this is a PG show.
There you go. Welcome back, David.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I might have to decline to answer that.
What'd you say? What do you think? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I can't say that on
You
the
can't
radio.
say. Well, can you give us a hint of what you think the president's password is?
Does it start with the letter after E?
It would start with F, and it probably has Trump's name in it.
Oh, do you think that's what it is?
Yeah.
So it's F Trump? Is that what you're trying to say?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, that's a beautiful. You know what? I would say that his password is password 123. You think so? That's you know that is like 90% of passwords are password 123.
Yeah, I know.
And now they're getting really complicated. So every once in a while, somebody will put an exclamation part at the end of it because they have to have a capital letter. So the P is always capital.
I know.
Password. And then you have to have numbers. So that's like 1, 2, 3. And then people put an exclamation point at the end. And you got yourself everything you need to make sure you pass the new standards of having that additional character.
Yeah, they're so dumb.
That is. But, that is a very high one. All right. Well, Mike, we always have our whiskey tasting during the show. So we're going to be tasting. And after our first break, we'll explain which whiskey we're tasting. We'll either give it a thumbs up, we'll give it a thumbs down, or maybe we'll have a split vote and see what happens. Last week's whiskey was 2 thumbs up, so we'll see how it does this week.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, now it's time to move to our very first segment.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right. Now, David, we are glad to have you back. We missed you yesterday. Or last week, not yesterday. Last week being on the show, we had Mr. Miller filling in. So welcome back. Glad everything took care of everything and you were safe.
Yes, I was safely sitting in Tomlinson Stadium at Central Washington University watching a 70-0 rout by the Wildcats.
All right. Well, there you go. Wow. Okay, here we go. Story number one.
That means absolutely nothing.
Okay, here we go. Crypto fans lose out on the Constitution. We have an audio clip. Let's go to that right now and see what this is actually about.
The bid is yours for the United States Constitution at $41 million.
A group of cryptocurrency enthusiasts have failed in their bid to buy a first edition copy of the US Constitution. The extremely rare document sold for $43.2 million at a Sotheby's auction on Thursday. The identity of the winning bidder was not immediately clear, Nor was it clear why the cryptocurrency group, called Constitution DAO, was outbid at that price. Their crowdfunding page had quickly amassed more than $47 million. If they had succeeded, contributors would not have had any stake in the valuable document, but instead would have been given so-called government's tokens to advise on what happened to it. The document they missed out on is one of 11 known existing copies from the official first printing of the US Constitution, which was adopted by America's founding fathers in Philadelphia in 1787.
So let's talk about this. So this is a very interesting deal.
I think it's cool that someone British was
talking about our Constitution.
Yeah.
That's where we go and we get the news straight from the source. All right. So a cryptocurrency flash mob.
Uh-huh.
All right. So they were on all online communicating about putting money into a central deposit to collect money to buy the Constitution. Now, it was called a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization.
Mm-hmm.
It is a new part of cryptocurrency in the blockchain technology that's out there. So what it does is it's kind of, have you ever seen like a GoFundMe page, where someone says, okay, I'll pay you $10 here, I'll pay you. So this is the same thing, but now done on cryptocurrency wide, where each of the people, depending on how much they spend, would receive voting rights to be able to make decisions on what they purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So within 72 hours, they had raised over $40 million in contributions. Just think of that. In 72, $40 million people were willing to pay to not own the Constitution, but to make a decision of what to do and have voting rights for this.
That's about as interesting as NFTs.
Well, so it's kind of the same thing. It's a brand new version of the NFT, right?
Yeah.
So this is a version where essentially you get voting power by how much you spend, and then essentially you're going to decide what to do with the physical documentation, and whoever bids the most has the most control of what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So again, cryptocurrency platform allows you to make decisions and have voting power in borderless decentralization organization. It does not rely on the banks to store the cash, but instead it had smart contracts that would have been sent out to each of these individuals upon a purchase of those items. Brand new technology, very interesting.
Digital.
That most people are saying that there was no reason that they actually wanted to purchase the Constitution, but they wanted to get the word out about their new platform, about the ability of what you can do, and so this is how they did that.
Yeah, so that's why we're doing it right now.
That's right. So we talked about it.
We're
giving them their
what they want,
and to talk about this new technology.
So you think they just stopped bidding?
Yeah, so it said I think that they had a pretty good idea of what the value was going to be, and I think they stopped bidding so that they didn't have to pay the money, and all the money was refunded back to everybody that bid on it. But essentially, what happened is they got lots of press. We're now talking about them, and now other people will probably use them for other items. Maybe we want to purchase a car, or maybe we want to purchase a collectible item, maybe a baseball. Why would you want to
buy a car if you can't drive it?
Well, let's say collectible car. Let's say like a collectible, like a 1950 Chevy.
Unless it's a timeshare.
Well, so it's got some timeshare elements to this, doesn't it? All right. Well, I think
I need the car on Tuesday. Can I? How much did you put in there? For $5. No,
okay. Well, you got the next story about your buddy. So you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about Mark
Zuckerberg, right? Okay. What's he doing?
Zuckerberg. So I guess last week he showed off this haptic glove.
Yep.
That touched off a problem. Apparently, a VR robotics company called Haptics, Haptx, accused him and Meta of copying its patented technology to build that glove.
Well, no way.
Which was showed off on, I believe, it was on Twitter, wasn't it?
It was a live stream, so it was on Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook
They put it everywhere out there, so you could see it.
That would
it'd be kind of dumb to do Twitter if you're on Facebook, right?
Here,
it was on Meta. It was in the metaverse.
That's the metaverse. Okay. There we go. So the prototype that Mark Zuckerberg showed off this week or last week is facing allegations that actually based on existing patented technology. They have been Haptics, which is the company that is suing them, has been developing and demoing its haptic glove for VR for years now. And on Tuesday of this week, Haptics accused Meta, which we've made fun of a lot, of copying the patents and to help build the prototype glove, and lets the wearer feel texture and pressure when touching digital objects in virtual reality. Virtual reality. That was a tongue twister.
Okay.
So the core components of the prototype, including the silicon-based microfluidic tactile feedback laminate and mnemonic control architecture appear to be substantively identical to haptics' patented technology. We welcome an interest in competition in the field of microfluidic haptics. However, competition must be fair for the industry to thrive.
So now this is a Seattle-based company.
Yes.
So being the investigators and technology gurus we are, we sent them an email. I said, could I put you on today's show? And I would have given them the floor for probably a good 30 minutes to let them talk about their technology.
Yeah, they declined.
So I received an email back from Joe Michaels, the Chief Revenue Officer, that says he appreciated the offer to do the radio interview. Currently, right now, we are not doing interviews on this topic.
Yeah, they probably can't.
I would expect that they can't because they probably have legal people that are saying, don't say a thing, we're going to take care of this. But I just find that funny that you go on and do a big press release and that you have exactly the same technology of another company that you've previously looked at, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's
well, yeah, that's the same thing Amazon keeps getting in trouble with, right?
Yeah, they just knock off when you start selling something really well.
When you start selling something really well, they
go to China
they essentially
and
copy it, and then they start selling it on their Prime
at just
site.
2 cents lower than whatever you're ever going to post it.
Yep. So,
all right, story number 3: UK and US joins forces to strike back at cyber security items. The US and UK are joining forces to impose huge adversaries who continuously send malicious cyber attacks.
Consequences?
The combined action will address an evolving threat full-ranged. The plan was discussed last week at an annual meeting of intelligence chiefs in the United States. Specifically, the concern is over Russia-based ransomware.
Mm-hmm.
General Sir Patrick Sanders and Government Communication Headquarters Director Sir Jeremy Fleming of U.S. Cyber Command reaffirmed their commitment to jointly disrupt and deter any new emerging cyber threats. Russia is going to be a lot of talked about in today's episode. We got a lot of Russia stuff. The Russia's getting a little bit of an itch to kind of do some things that they probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, this is the Russia stuff this week.
All right, so we go back to.
But we're going to go back to Facebook.
Okay, you're up again. Oh, your favorite company again. That's so funny that you had this story. What are we going to talk about?
So the U.S. state attorney is probing Instagram's effects on kids.
What?
We've talked about this several times, and
Yep.
I have my opinions about it, which reflect the more unpopular things.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea either. Essentially, the Attorney General is going to spend a bunch of time looking
right.
into Facebook to see if they have specifically targeted young kids.
Right. A bipartisan coalition of U.S. state attorneys general said on Thursday it is open to probe into Facebook, now known as Meta Platforms, for promoting its subsidiary Instagram to children despite potential harms. The investigation involving at least 9 states comes at a time when Facebook is continually under scrutiny over its approach to children and young adults.
Really?
Always. The attorneys generals are investigating whether the company violated consumer protection laws and put young people at risk. A spokesperson said that Facebook, now Meta, has failed to protect young people on its platforms and has instead chose to ignore or in some case double down on known manipulations that pose a real threat to physical and mental health, especially exploiting children in the interest of profit.
Yeah.
Of course, they shot back.
Yeah.
Meta.
Yeah.
And shot back with the accusations are false and
of course
demonstrated deep misunderstanding of the facts.
Yeah, of
course.
Which
I think that's been reverberated around the halls of Congress several times.
That makes sense.
When he's sitting there getting probed.
All right. So you know what? Instagram should not be for children under 13. It shouldn't even be for children under 16, in my opinion.
A lot of these things, the way they're built, really affect mental health.
Yep.
But that's true for everything. The whole technology gambit ends up affecting our mental health.
It does. It's like an influence, right? I mean, we want technology to be able to provide us stuff, and technology in return influences our decision making. It's just the more super steroid version of a commercial on television.
Yeah, the more advanced a society is, quotations.
Yeah.
The more instances of social problems they have.
That makes sense.
So That's one of the interesting things.
All right, David says we need to move on. He keeps us. All right, story number 5.
Saluted.
Staples Center, he did. He's back, and he's in
he's
all
in
his
rare
glory.
form today.
I know. Staples Center becomes Crypto.com Arena in a reported $700 million naming rights. So the Staples Center has been around forever. Now they're calling it Crypto.com.
Yeah, that's like all these other stadiums.
Like Climate Pledge.
Like Climate, is it Climate Pledge Arena or Climate?
It's Climate Pledge Arena.
That's right. So what is that about?
Is Wrigley Field still Wrigley Field?
Yeah, it is. Oh
okay.
my! And you know what? They still have the ivy in the back. I mean, yeah. And if you've ever gone to Wrigley Field, which I've been at the stadium, so old, so traditional, really cool. And if you ever get a chance to visit the Boston Red Sox Stadium,
that would be Fenway Park.
There you go. Thank you, David. Fenway Park. The best part is the concession stands literally are underneath wooden bleachers at Fenway Park. And this old signs, people with old pieces of paper up there. Nothing's fancy, and they're selling peanuts and popcorn and everything that you don't get at these high-end stadiums. Oh, it's the best.
All right.
Those are the two things.
Yeah,
you need. Okay.
finish the story.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
finish the story.
Crypto.com is paying $700 million, according to multiple reports, over 20 years to rename the building. The parties aren't publicly announcing in financial terms, and hopefully they're not paying it off in Bitcoin because you never know if it goes up or down. There you go. That's the end of our top stories in the first 5 minutes. When we return, oh boy, we got lots of stuff that we're going to be talking about on our Technology Insider. We got a segment talking about a space nebula that creates sound from, and then we're going to be talking about the space station under attack. Pretty big deal. All right, we're going to see you right after this break. I'm Nathan. We got Mike Roday here, David Brown behind the boards. We'll see you after this. Hi, I'm Nathan Mumm, host of TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm on KKNW. TechTime Radio's live show is Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can always check us on the web at techtimeradio.com. Our segmented stylized radio gives you the breaking news before it hits mainstream media. Join myself and Mike Roday as we'll make you laugh.
That's good. So, Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
It did, just a little bit. And learning something new in technology. Join us Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m., and Thursdays from 6 to 7 a.m. The Technology Show for the everyday common person.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, the show that takes a positive, forward-looking approach to mid to late career transitions for Gen Xers and Boomers every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific. Whether you're looking to stay in the traditional workforce, do your own thing, or retire or semi-retire, Reigniting You is your source for career transition advice, inspiration, and insight for what's next in your career and life. Join me Wednesdays at 3 o'clock to get re-energized, recharged, and reignited.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. We just had our first whiskey tasting. Mike, during the break, we got to sample our whiskey pick of the day. And today we have chosen the Glenmorangie Lasanta. You
got it right.
I know, I got that all right, man.
You were practicing that for like a week.
I was. It's $38.99. It's 92 proof. But when we looked at the bottle, we did this as we were sampling. It said it may actually only be 89 proof. So I don't know which one's right, whether it's their bottling or if it's...
Clearly somebody was drunk while they were printing out labels.
But you know what? I know why they were drunk, because this
is good stuff.
Smooth, man. This is phenomenal. The Highlands of Scotland has Lasanta's warm passion with a single malt delivery of sweet chocolates, toffee aromas, led by a full flavor containing hints of orange, walnut, and butter toffee.
Yeah,
long finish with spice orange and a chocolate hazelnut note.
Yeah, Lasanta means passion and warmth in Gaelic.
That's right.
I don't know if I just pronounced that correctly.
I think you did, though. That's what you bring. You bring the nice English words to the full, proper pronunciation of what needs to be done. Oh, there you go. All right. Although I've been pretty good today. I've been slowing down. You know, I will have glasses on next week, and from here on out.
Where are your glasses?
They're at Costco, so I need to go pick them up. And once I go and pick up my glasses, I will have glasses 24/7 now. I will always have glasses on. That's just means my eyes are getting old.
Welcome to the downhill side.
It's either that or my notes had to get much bigger, and I don't know if we could go at a 22 font and start reading that, so that wouldn't work really well.
Yeah, that's what I do with my text messages. I have them on the high setting.
The high setting, so you look at them and you're like, oh, wow, I got to scroll through 18 times.
Sucks.
It does. You know what? The worst part about it is that when you wake up in the morning, everything aches. Oh, everything aches. I just don't understand that. Like, I didn't do anything. I just slept, and I still wake up. My arm aches, this aches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can injure yourself while you're sleeping.
Who ever thought of that?
You wake up with a broken leg. What the heck? I just rolled over.
All right. David keeping us on gear. He's waving his fingers again. All right, let's start our next segment.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
All right, welcome to Technology Insider. We have two rather interesting stories regarding outer space. We are really in kind of...
this is
right
the
now,
second week we've talked about space stuff.
We're kind of in the space right now, aren't we?
I like space stuff.
We talk about it a lot, and we go into some great dialogue in our production meetings. So we're going to talk about story number one. NASA shares sound of the Butterfly Nebula created through data sonification. Have you ever imagined what the sound of a nebula in deep space is like? Thanks to NASA, we can now hear the sound of the Butterfly Nebula through data sonification as it soars across space at more than 966,000 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, I don't know that most people would wonder what that sounds like, but
well, you know what? We got it. So you know what? We're going to go right now. This is, of course, the Butterfly Nebula, also known as NGC 6302, lies within our Milky Way galaxy between 2,500 and 38,000 light years. 3,800 light years away in the constellation Scorpius. Let's take a look. Listen to that sound now.
sounds like a Disney flick.
Does it sound like a Disney flick?
It sounds like a Disney flick.
So that is the sound of the nebula. Again, it looks like a butterfly. And so if you take the transition of it, NASA was happy to share that information. And it just tells you what it's like. Just think of hearing that in deep space.
Well, you wouldn't hear it in deep space.
Well, you would hear
this is radiation signals translated into sound.
Sound, that's correct. A harp sound is specifically what they used it for. Okay, well, story number 2. A reckless Russian missile test blows up a satellite in space, forcing the ISS astronauts to take shelter. So the U.S. Department condones the action, and NASA's administrator
They condemn the action. They don't condone it.
Oh, sorry, condemns the action.
That's two different words, man.
Condemns the action, and NASA administration Bill Nelson calls it irresponsible and destabilizing. 7 crew members aboard the International Space Station had to take emergency shelter, and a space rocket docked at the ISS on Monday because of a new potential dangerous debris field generated by a Russian anti-satellite test. The astronauts huddled inside the SpaceX Crew Dragon as the Russian missile exploded one of the nation's dead spy satellites. So essentially they have a satellite up in space. Russia did. This satellite was supposed to spy on the United States. So what they decided to do is as some test deal with their missile launching capability, they decided to blow this to bits. Mm-hmm. And what happened is the shockwave and the debris, they didn't consider what would happen to that. So all of a sudden after...
I'm sure they considered.
Well, they probably did. They probably knew what they were doing. And essentially what that did is everybody in the International Space Station had to go into an escape pod in case debris hit the space station and they were not able to patch it and developed leaks into outer space that they could not take care of, and they were going to then immediately come back to Earth so that they could be safe because of this incident.
Right.
With a long and storied history of human spaceflight, it's unthinkable that Russia would endanger not only the Americans, but the international partner astronauts on the ISS, and also their own cosmonauts. So they had a cosmonaut that was up there that is in the International Space Station that is Russian descent. So from Russia, in the International Space Station, that guy's probably texting them, "What are you doing? Quit drinking your vodka," or something like that.
Don't try to.
You don't want me to do my Russian?
Don't try to do your Russian accent.
Now let's listen to Ned Price, the United States State Department spokesman, regarding this specific incident.
The Russian Federation recklessly conducted a destructive satellite test of a direct ascent anti-satellite missile against one of its own satellites. The test has so far generated over 1,500 pieces of trackable orbital debris and hundreds of thousands of pieces of smaller orbital debris that now threaten the interests of all nations. In addition, this test will significantly increase the risk to astronauts and cosmonauts on the International Space Station, as well as to other human spaceflight activities. Russia's dangerous and irresponsible behavior jeopardizes the long-term sustainability of outer space and clearly demonstrates that Russia's claims of opposing the weaponization of space are disingenuous and hypocritical. The United States will work with our allies and partners to respond to Russia's irresponsible act.
So you know what? People are concerned about this. Actually, this is like a big deal that we haven't heard about in the mainstream media, that they are concerned that Russia could be looking to start a Cold War race in space. That's what they're saying. They are concerned that they're going to use space as this new frontier for them to put information out and to put satellites out and to take...
like Space Cowboys?
Yeah, kind of like
that movie?
I do remember that movie. So this is kind of a big deal for everybody involved, not including just NASA, but everybody involved, because the International Space Station has been used by many people. Very open, kind of like an open source program. Everybody likes it. They can all go and visit it. They can all do research on there. They can work together. And now all of a sudden you got satellites being shot to bits, and these bits are all just floating out there. I mean, there's going to be a time soon in space where you're going to have to figure out the hole to get through the debris. And I guess you're going to have to go to Wozniak, and he's going to go and clean
Wozniak
it up.
is
going to clean it all up,
he's
right?
He's doing like space vacuuming. So
right.
he's on top of that.
You remember the movie Spaceballs?
Yeah.
They transform into that vacuum?
Yeah, but they just sucked air out of a planet. They didn't.
That's true. They didn't clean up. But I could just see that now. Some big satellite up
That's
there.
right.
It's going to clean it up.
So maybe that's where Wozniak got his idea.
Well, maybe that would be it. All right. Well, you know what?
Watching Spaceballs.
We're going to need to take a break. But when we return, we're going to be talking about our Gamer Time segment. Specifically, what if you had the chance to play games forever? Well, I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Day here, David Brown behind the board, and we'll see you after this commercial break. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of Dice Throne?
Yeah, I've heard of that. I hear it's pretty cool.
It's Yahtzee meets Magic: The Gathering. Dice Throne can be played as a 1-versus-1 dueling game. Dice Throne has a great announcement that they have coming to Kickstarter regarding a game that is based on Marvel characters. The Marvel Dice Throne is a fast and fun board game for all ages. Each player selects 1 to 8 heroes to face off in a head-to-head battle to see who earns the right to take the throne. Now, who would be your hero that you'd want to be?
Black Panther.
You like Black Panther?
That's right.
Mine is Loki, because Loki never stabs anybody in the back.
Not ever.
All right, well, the gameplay involves strategically rolling dice to activate special abilities, playing unique hero cards to manipulate results, and upgrading your hero board to power up your stats. This is currently being crowdfunded on Kickstarter. Go there now and reserve your copy. Tech Time listeners, you're in luck, as we have a direct link to get you access to the Kickstarter for the Marvel Dice Throne game. That's correct. If you go to tinyurl.com/TechTime Dice Throne, again, that's tinyurl.com/TechTime Dice Throne, or you can just click on our sponsor page at TechTimeRadio.com to get the direct link there to sign up for the Kickstarter. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. Mike, have you backed the Kickstarter campaign yet?
I did it yesterday.
All right, I'm going to do it tonight. Make sure to use the tinyurl.com/TechTime Dice Throne, or to make it simple, go to TechTimeRadio.com and click on our sponsor link. Yeah, I know. I like that music. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Mike, how is the whiskey tasting?
Mine's gone already.
It is. So is mine. It's the Glenmorangie Lasanta 38.99 92 proof bottle.
Or 89 if you look at the label.
Or 89 if you look at the label. So it depends on which label you're looking at, because this is the information
I think
from
it's
their
better
website.
to look at the label.
You think it's better the label?
Yeah.
That's a Wines and More
you can
mini
get away with
bottle
drink
label,
more.
though. Are you sure that they wouldn't misprint one of those? Because that's not their standard size. I think they could misprint on that.
I mean, I think that's probably their label. They just
memorized it?
somebody confused the situation a little bit.
They did, especially when I get it from their website.
That's
So
right.
Their website says that there's more alcohol content. But let me ask you this. Would you actually buy a bottle of this?
Yeah.
I would, too.
This is
pretty
good.
smooth, isn't it?
It's really good.
It's you know what? The way this week goes, this is a perfect way to cap off the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some weeks Canadian Mist is the perfect way to cap it off.
I don't think Canadian Mist is good for anything. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you.
All right.
You'll change your tune there.
All right. Well, now that we got our drinks out of the way, we have our segments that explores technology specifically regarding our games. Welcome to Gamer Time. Let's start out with a company that was once considered the Darth Vader of software, now turning into the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's Microsoft.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I did. You see me writing on that? That's pretty creative, isn't it?
Good, no.
All right. Microsoft Xbox head Phil Spencer calls for legal emulation for older games. Now, have you ever played an emulator game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to run a Commodore 128 emulator on my Windows PC.
Okay, and you play a bunch of old games?
I run an emulator now for Nintendo.
Okay. See, I have a Raspberry Pi, and I have a bunch of emulator ROMs on that too. And you know what? It's kind of a very gray area on if that's legal or not legal, because you're allowed to have a ROM if you own the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I owned the game at some time, does that mean I'm able to use the ROM? Nah.
I don't know.
So what if I rented a game from Blockbuster with those
Gamefly?
around? Yeah, or from Gamefly. So essentially what Microsoft head Phil Spencer says is that he actually just wants a legal emulation for older games. Forget and most of this is done by fans that create these emulators. You load them on your machines, and you enjoy your games normally for a limited time. You're not normally like playing them hours on hours on hours.
No.
You're normally jumping in them 20, 30 minutes. You have a great time. You remember something, and you jump out, right?
You remember Lemmings?
I do. I loved Lemmings.
I have
Lemmings
that.
too?
I played that a couple of weeks ago.
You got the stop guy, you got the digger guy, and you literally have to get the digger guy and the basher guy at the same time so you can get the path to get them all out.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise they fall off and they go, they splat.
They splat.
That's right. Well, Xbox Phil Spencer has voiced that his belief that older games should be preserved, adding that he hopes the gaming industry can work on legal emulation to promote this. Spencer said that the gaming industry should prioritize the preservation of older video games, highlighting that film, TV, and music industries have already preserved older content. Spencer said there's positive reasons for gaming to want to follow suit. Spencer suggested that one way to enact video game preservation would be for industry leaders to offer legal emulation. He says, my hope, and I think we have a present of what's going on, is that the industry would work on legal emulation that it would allow modern hardware to run any, within reason, older executables, allowing someone to play older games and any game at any time. I think in the end, if we said, hey, everybody should be able to buy any game or own any game and continue to play it, that seems like a great North Star for us as an industry. On Monday, November 15th, Xbox added over 70 new backward-compatible games to its library. That means that numerous games from the original Xbox console, Mr. Mumm actually worked on the Xbox original console, as well as the Xbox 360 are once again available to play on Xbox Series XS and Xbox One platforms.
But do you still have to pay for them?
If
you get their
So if you have an older game,
service.
So if you get a subscription service, then you get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have an older game and you actually put it in and they have the ROMs for it, they let you. So I have older Xbox. I have tons of Xbox.
I just found some in my garage today.
So if you put them in, go take them home, put them in your Xbox, and when you put them in the Xbox, it will actually download a newer version that can run on your system as long as that CD remains in the unit itself. So it's pretty cool. So. Now all of a sudden, GameStop and GameFly can reuse those older versions. Some of the games have been graphically enhanced too, so that the ROM will come on up, and even though you put in the CD and you have the older version, it will actually download locally to the hard drive a newer version with upgraded graphics, and they normally collaborate it so that it can actually work with the system and the controller in a different way than it originally was intended to give you the best experience. All right. On to story number 2, Star Wars: The Old Republic. Have you ever played that game?
Yep.
All right. Do you know that game has been out for over 10 years?
Yep.
So here's what's going on. The legacy of Sith will serve as a foundation for the next 10 years of the game series, making this a 20-plus year commitment to one video game platform. Earlier this week, BioWare showed off some brand new footage of the upcoming expansion for Star Wars: The Old Republic titled Legacy of the Sith. There is plenty of information regarding new features, locations, abilities for players, and even returning to some older locations. Star Wars: The Old Republic is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. It's probably now the third longest MMORPG game.
Yeah.
So you're going to have, what's the one that's been around forever?
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft, right?
And then there's EverQuest. Is that still?
So EverQuest got
still?
canceled.
Oh,
so they got canceled. I don't know what the other one is, but essentially these are games that you create a character, you play in the world. They release new software patches. Sometimes you get 2 or 3 different patches, and then normally the game disappears, and they release a brand new game. You have to go and spend $60, $70 to get the new game. You get all new characters and creation, and you start it.
I think they tried to do that with Star Wars Galaxies. Remember that?
They did. But what they're doing is they have a commitment for the Old Republic to be a game that they're expecting to be in existence for another 10-plus years. Now, this graphic enhancement is only for the PC, and what they've done is they've redone all the textures, redone all the video graphics to the newer, more advanced graphics that are available for this new version that comes out on December 20th. That's a big name. I love that date. There's a reason I love that date. December 20th.
Why? Because something happened in 2011?
Well, December 20th, that's my birthday. So there you go.
Well, happy birthday in 2 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
4 weeks.
Or however long it is. All right, so this is taking a 10-year-old game and doing a complete reboot with graphics and stories. This starts a year of celebration with a whole year of activities planned to spark controversy and conversation.
Controversy? Where's that?
Controversy and conversation.
Conversation.
With,
I think
with
controversy
players.
doesn't. I don't think controversy is in there.
Well, I'm
anyway.
sure that all these games have controversy, don't they? You got in there and somebody's spamming you and yelling at you, doing this, do this, go over there.
Yeah,
go
I don't
that.
think that's just idiots.
Oh, is it?
Griefers and
that happens all the time when we're playing Sea of Thieves, though, right?
Every game has abusive
So
players.
there you go.
So.
Okay, all right, okay. There's a foundation for 10 years. Considered the holy grail of Star Wars games, BioWare created director Charles Boyd adds that he wants it to be a D&D type campaign with your past choices and experience affecting the future of the game.
Woo-hoo.
When asked if Star Wars The Old Republic's welcome new or returning players, he would confidently said that both are welcome. You can either start with your existing character or a new character that will already have pre-designed information and backstory to them. All right. Star Wars Legacy of the Sith is set to launch on December 14th, 2021 for the PC. All right, we're going to end this segment. When our segment returns, we have, of course, Mike's mesmerizing moment brought to us by StoriCoffee and Pick of the Day. This has been a great hour so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. We will see you after this break. Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
You go, hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Have I ever heard of Unidragon.com?
Yes, Unidragon.com.
Why, yes, I have heard of Unidragon.com. That's the puzzle dude.
The puzzle dude, that's correct. He has tons of puzzles, and of course, he is the best and original wooden puzzles.
You have owls.
Guess what is the #1 best-selling puzzle?
The owl.
Do you think you had anything to do with that?
No, everybody loves owls.
Well, right now, you can get 40% off in stock if you go to unidragon.com/products/enchanting owl. You need to make sure you get yours today. Now, they also have 2 to 6 days for shipping and domestically ship within the United States. They have a great customer support. If you ever have any questions regarding your puzzle, except for how to put it together, you can email them at care@unidragon.com. If you want to get 10% off, you can use our code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's Dragon, DRAGON, Tech, TECH, for a 10% off discounts. Now, if you want the original, go to unidragon.com. Beware of fakes. Only get your wooden puzzles at unidragon.com.
Get them all.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Mike, during the break, what did you think again about our whiskey?
Wow, I drank it all the last break, so it's already gone.
It's the Glenmorangie Lasanta.
Yeah, you got it. Good.
I did, man. Okay, $38.99, 92 proof, or maybe
89 proof.
Maybe 89 proof.
We don't know.
Single malt. It's got a little bit of the orange chocolate balanced. I think that I enjoyed it so much that I said I wish we had another bottle, didn't I?
Yeah, you could have gotten a regular sized bottle for this.
I did.
One.
So I got a whole sample kit for
know.
that. So I still got like 3 more whiskeys
This
on my wines and more
really
order.
good.
It was really good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna give it, but
okay, neither am I. All right. Well, you know what? Now it's time to move on to Mike's mesmerizing moment.
This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com.
All right, I got a question for you.
yeah. What's your question?
All right, so explain to me, why is it that companies end up ripping off other companies? It happens all the time. Explain the logic to our listening audience and myself. Why is it that we can't just create our own stuff when we're a big company, and why do we just rip off other companies? I'm not accusing Facebook of ripping off another company. I'm just asking if
Sure, why not?
hypothetically
Well, yeah.
this happened.
Well, the short answer is easy, right? So if I'm running a company and I'm spending a lot of money on research and development,
Yeah.
and then somebody over here comes up with this thing that is awesome, that I love,
Yeah,
and not only love but can see profit in it.
yeah. So why don't you buy the company?
Then I would have to pay money instead of ripping off that company.
See, I never got. So
It's more, of course, it's more complicated than that. Where as human beings, we mimic. We even have a saying: mimicry is the sincerest form of flattery, right?
Yeah.
Imitation is the sincerest form. So when we do these kind of things, as from a human standpoint, if you have a style that I really like, I start copying that style because I like it, but I also want to be associated with somebody who is. That's where we get the term trendsetters and all these other things, like these freaking Hollywood people who they dress up in these really bizarre clothes during the.
Is that why you buy a hat? Because you like my hat? Is that what you? Is that why you buy hats?
That's exactly why I don't have a hat like that.
Okay, all right. So
we see what these people are wearing, and we want to associate ourselves with that because we want to be like them. So we buy their clothes, or we affect whatever it is. The Jennifer Aniston hairstyle. Remember the Friends Jennifer Aniston thing?
Yeah, she was like a trendsetter.
Every time she got her hair changed on the show, it was a whole slew of people that. So we do this kind of stuff when it comes to business. If somebody comes up with that idea and you're trying to develop an idea, and
don't you want to develop your idea that'd be better than their idea?
You would. That would be the
rational,
honorable thing to do.
Okay,
but if they come up with the idea, and you see the profit margin in there, and particularly maybe the competitive advantage they may have on you.
Okay,
wouldn't it be easier if, let's say, if I'm Facebook,
and
I say that's cool, and because I'm Facebook, I'm huge and big and I can distribute it really fast. I've taken care of a lot of the back end problems that these little companies have.
We're gonna go steal that.
I'm just gonna take that. And, that's may not be what's going on, but That is a.
I guess there's
rationalizations all the way down the line.
So I guess it's flattery. That's what it is. All right.
I don't think it's flattery in this case.
No.
If that's what's going on, it's definitely not flattery. It's based on something else.
All right,
but as humans, there really is nothing new under the sun.
So that's true. That's why you get a reboot of every movie.
Yeah, if you
right?
go to a movie, it's got elements of other movies, and they're rebooting things all the time. How many times is Batman being rebooted? It's like
all the time.
God, I'm so sick and tired of Batman.
Michael Keaton, man, that's like the original Batman dude, right? But then you have the guy that was
you got West. Adam West.
Adam West. That was that's right.
Yeah, he
was
the
TV series,
the
right?
TV series
That's
Batman.
right.
And then you got Michael Keaton. Then there's so many Batmans now that you don't know. But so it's just sort of a common thing when it happens and when it plays out in business, it's more of a ethical quandary. But again, we'll find out what happens there with that.
All right, so I got a bonus little segment here before we do our pick of the day.
All right.
All right. So this is This Week in Technology. What came out in November 19th, 2007?
I don't know.
Amazon introduced their Kindle ebook reader. Where other companies had released an ebook reader in previous years with limited success, the Kindle's integration with Amazon's industry-leading book distribution system helped catapult the e-reader into the mainstream conscience. The Kindle sold out within 5 hours of its debut, November 19th, 2007. You know what? I think I was actually on that list to get that. My wife had an original Kindle.
You don't read books.
Well, I don't read books. I look at them for the pictures, right? No, but
I see.
You see, do you? No, I mean it was.
I'm reading the articles.
That's right. It was a big deal. I remember it came up with the WhisperNet. It's 2G. It's no longer WhisperNet. Does no longer exist.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden, if you want WhisperNet, you're toasted.
hosed.
But I remember that was a big deal. You could read, change the font sizes. It was a pretty big deal. Made Amazon very successful as it is growing even more today.
Yeah, I have a Kindle.
All right, so now let's move on to our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, again, we have our Glenmorangie Lasanta, 12-year bottled from Scotland.
12-year Scotch.
Single malt. Single malt, rich orange chocolate balance. You going to give this a thumbs up?
I'm going to give this a thumbs up.
A thumbs up. I will give this also a very big thumbs up. It tasted very good. Now, you may have wondered why we have our Carpe stuff as a part of our video display here.
Yeah,
if you can't see us, go on to YouTube right now and watch us because you can see our Carpe sponsor. They're going to be coming on up the start of our second hour. And they are a huge now sponsor of course, TechTime Radio, which we're really excited about. All right, here we go. Let's talk about what we have available in our second hour. We're actually ahead of time, aren't we? Oh, look at that. David kept us on time. Now, all of a sudden, he's doing let's stretch it out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Before he was like, let's go.
He was giving us salutes earlier.
That's right. Now he's stretching it out just a little bit. Well, we're really going to be excited about what we have on the second hour is we have Nick Espinoza joining us to talk about security breaches, why hospital hacks are becoming a trend, and what you can do over the holiday break to protect yourself while shopping online and in person. We have Black Friday holiday tips. We're not going to go and read down the best steals and deals for you. But if you got that last steals and deals, that printer.
Isn't that what we're going to do next week?
We got. Well, next week is the after we come on back next week. It'll be after Black Friday.
Oh, that's right.
But what we're going to do is we're going to give you tips on how to buy and what to avoid during the Black Friday because everything goes on sale. Everybody thinks everything is good. You know, oh, this is dirt cheap. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. We're going to tell you on a technical level what the difference between a level 1 and a level 2 based component in your computer is. Very important.
Is it anything like USB ports?
No, it's not like USB ports, but it's actually about how the manufacturers make system boards.
Oh, okay.
So level 1, premier, top of the line, and we'll talk about that. Level 2, there's some issues that happens, which is why they offer it at such great discounts. Then, of course, we're going to have, our letters segment. We got some great spams. I had so much fun printing these out. You're going to see, I got literally like 20 of them. So we're going to have to pick in between the top of the hour which ones we want to talk about, because there's not enough of funny spams that are coming on out, because people are trying to break into your accounts right now because they know you are looking for Black Friday deals. And then, of course, we got This Week in Technology segment. Mr. Gourdet, it's been a great hour. We have another hour after the turn here. I think that we have great listeners. Again, if you want to be a part of the show, you can always call us, and Mr. Brown will get you on the show itself. Well, I am Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Gourdet here, David Brown. We'll see you at the end of this hour, and we'll see you in hour 2.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.